So the gallop there by Pinklon has quietened down a bit. Wayne Newton. So he's got the long wait now for the East alone. But he's come to see the real fighters this time. So the Rocky theme they're playing then for the entrance of Iron Mike Tyson. And now that Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard are out of the picture, this is the man who's carrying the torch of boxing these days, the main man. Now this is obligatory to carry these belts. This is not Tyson's own idea. Both ruling bodies want it. There it is, no dressing gown, sweating like anything, ready for business. What a fighter this man is. 20 years old, you remember. I use the word man advisedly. Real throwback, isn't he, to the old bare knuckle fighters. No trims, no tassels, no dressing gowns. And walks in there, and Jim, it looks as though he's already worked 15 rounds. The sweat bouncing off him. Yeah, it's he's obviously done a good little workout in the dressing room before he came out. That's one of the things you have to admire about Tyson. He starts right at the beginning of the fight and never stops. So he's obviously got himself warmed up nicely. Well, he has thrown a few punches for the camera there. Had fire and fear stamped on his T-shirt. I saw him earlier today. But I must say, Thomas has really not been bothered at all. He's exchanged some rather heated words at some time or other in the early press conferences when Tyson appeared with him. And it really wasn't all a publicity stunt, because that is not Tyson's style at all. And Pinklon Thomas is a sharp guy, and he responded quite heavily, I thought. Maybe he'll have to pay for that. We'll find out. So waiting for the crowd to settle down at $750 for ringside seats here. Quite a few bob that, isn't it? And applause from the man with the stand-up hairstyle like a candy floss. My promoter, Don King, there. He's applauding, spending his own money, or somebody else's probably, for this big fight. Pinklon Thomas, $650,000 the challengers, and no socks there. Mike Tyson, he really is something else. And he's getting just a mere $2.5 million for this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Las Vegas Hilton Sports Arena, where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel and Miller Lite, presents the Hard Road to Glory, Destination Ultimate. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Dwayne Ford, chairman. Commissioners at ringside are Mr. Sig Rogich, Herb Santos, Sammy Macias, and Freddie Little. And the executive director of that commission is Harold Buck. Representing the WBC at ringside, the president of that organization, Senor Jose Suleiman, and the supervisor, Mr. Spider Bynum of Texas. Representing the WBA at ringside is Mr. Nick Carriasados. The judges appointed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for this, the next event of the evening, are Galby Shirley of Nevada, Gordon Volkman of Illinois, and Harry Gibbs of England. The timekeeper is Mike Lachella. Counting at the knockdowns, Al Bicep. The attending physicians at ringside, Drs. Flip Polanski, Donald Romeo, and Elias Ganema. And your referee is Carlos Padilla. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA, WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of West Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 217 3/4 pounds, with a professional record of 29 wins, 1 defeat, 1 draw, and 24 KOs. He's rated #1 in the world by the WBC and is a former champion of that organization. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Pinklon Pinky Thomas. And in the red corner, fighting out of the Catskills in New York, weighing 218 3/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 29 wins, no defeats, 26 KOs. He is the WBC, WBA, heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
So referee Carlos Padilla then, 55th title fight for him, and there's the statistical rundown. Remember, 20 years of age, that's all he is, Mike Tyson. In there with a big man of 29. Just wiping down. He came in absolutely bouncing there with perspiration, Tyson, but that's some water. Padilla seemed to think. He says, don't put too much grease on, to Kevin Rooney, the trainer.
Okay, Tyson, Thomas, you're going to box for 12 rounds. You know the rules of boxing. Avoid using any kinds of foul. Don't throw any punches during the break. Is that understood? Seconds come out fighting.
So there we go then. The final words from Padilla. I doubt whether these boxers really hear any of those words. They've got other things on their mind. And there he is. The main man then in the fight game today, Mike Tyson. And Pinklon Thomas has a pole of a left-hand punch, and he's going to need it. It's supposed to be a solid jab, a sort of prerequisite to throw a slugger off his stride, but can he stop this bull from coming in, who's still burning for not looking good in his last fight with James Bone Crusher Smith? Oh, and he's opening up at the start now, Mike Tyson. He does love those one-rounders. Thomas won't be found wanting when it comes to a bit of gameness. He's proved that in the past. He's only had one really poor fight when he lost his championship to Trevor Berbick. Very troubled, he said about that. And seemed to genuinely fancy his chance against Tyson, but that didn't sway the odds makers at 6-1 on Tyson. And what a start by this incredible young champion, the youngest in history. He really must have worked out in the dressing room now. This left hook there, he switches that well. So it doesn't look as though that left-hand jab that cornerman Angelo Dundee has been telling Thomas to use is going to be much use to him. Now this is the Tyson we really know, isn't it? Trying to wipe out that memory of the Bone Crusher Smith waltz, and he's really laying it to Thomas at the start. The crowd loving it. Thomas hating it. 15 stone, 8 3/4 pounds of absolute mind, muscle, menace there, Tyson. Who's going to stop him midway through the first? Jim, what a fighter, Tyson.
Tremendous power he has, Reg. He doesn't pay anybody any respect whatsoever. He just comes straight through, pays no attention to what they're doing, and nothing that Thomas has shown so far is going to discourage him. Tyson's last two opponents are simply throws on the night with no belief in themselves. A lot depends on how much belief Thomas has tonight. But whatever they come in with, I think Tyson's putting a dent on that already.
Well, he's not going to get tangled up at close quarters in this fight, Tyson, as he did with Smith. He's got to learn to break the spider's web and not get entangled in it, and he's really unloading some terrific punches. And he'll do well to get over this round now, Pinklon Thomas. Well, you can talk a good fight, but when you get in with this fellow, you can throw all that out. As we get the countdown for the end of the first, can he hang in there for a while? As I said, he's got plenty of guts, Pinklon Thomas. He's standing up well, considering he's taken the full force of those punches. Well, a man, remember, who's 2 stone heavier than the great Rocky Marciano. 2 stone and over a stone heavier than Joe Frazier was. And he's in there, Padilla. He's making sure there's no after-bell punches this time. And now he's shouting at the referee as we come out for round 2 there, the trainer.
As Thomas stood in the corner there.
Low punch there, Jim, sorry.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just thinking he's the look of a man who's gone about 8 or 9 rounds instead of just 1. The way he was looking as he came out of the corner.
Yeah, nobody knows the troubles he's seen on the face there as he came out. So now let's see if he's learned any lessons now, Tyson, on fighting in close like this. Because the big man's bone crusher leaned all over him, which made him, well, let's face it, look a bit ordinary, and he knew it. As he said, he wears black all the time, Tyson, because he likes to look the bad guy, although people who know him well say he certainly isn't outside the ring, and I agree with that. But inside, I tell you, this fella's an absolute terror. Had 3 wins, Pinklon Thomas, since he lost his championship to Trevor Berbick, so he's on a winning roll, which is why he got the #1 position by the WBC. This is for both championships, but scheduled for 12 and not 15 rounds. Now, what's he wrestling for like this, Tyson, Jim? He could do without this.
Yeah, but I think every punch he throws is a knockout punch. He's simply waiting for the chance to let one go. He's never in any hurry. This is probably not worrying him too much. It's only the second round, and he knows he's trying to push Thomas off now, but Thomas is hanging on to him. Again, it's not really Tyson's fault, this kind of fight.
Well, there's Harry Gibbs from London. You can see there's one of the judges, but I would think he won't be needed. Thomas looked a bit sluggish in his last fight that I saw here against Danny Sutton. He won it. Well, I don't think he can play Matador too much with that left hand as the ball comes in. So he knows how to get inside punches, Tyson. Puts his head on the opponent's chest and bangs away. Hasn't really taken advantage of that first round absolute superiority, Jim.
No, he certainly dropped down a gear again. I don't know if that's his plan or it's just that when he gets up close, Thomas is grabbing hold of him. But as I said, he has plenty of time. Every punch he throws is a powerful punch, and sooner or later he obviously believes he's going to start getting through again.
Well, there's the scene set there for the Hilton Arena. And as Kevin Rooney now has got to work hard, I think, on Tyson. It's a great team they've got there. Former boxer Kevin Rooney, and it's incredible, really, the way he was a main event fighter on the same bill as Tyson, who fought on the preliminaries, and he used to go up in the corner with him and then change and go and fight in the main event.
You made that a little close, you still won.
Good stuff. Watch it. What do you want?
So Angelo Dundee, who worked wonders with Sugar Ray Leonard, who's just in front of us here at ringside. Can he do it with Thomas?
Everything. Give him movement. Let's go. That's the beginning of the end of this sucker. Let's do it. Come on.
Get on that jab and be a little more aggressive. Come on now. Don't be fucking out with this guy. You understand? Come on. Be aggressive.
Into round 3. And Pinklon Thomas did well to overcome that really disastrous start there. But remember this, when Tyson has had to go the full distance, he's won so clearly. That's the impressive part of him. Often punchers who go to 10 rounds and 12 rounds in this case as well, well, they can look pretty ordinary, but he's won clearly on those.
Okay, bring it up, bring it up. Bring it up. Stop fighting. Stop fighting.
So the referee's got to have to work a bit harder, pulling them apart.
Yeah, you can't really blame anyone for the grab and hold of Tyson inside, because nobody can compete with the strength or the power he can get into his short punches. So any opponent that ends up getting close to him is going to grab hold of him.
It's a bit ridiculous, Jim, when you think in his home state of New York is too young to legally drink alcohol, and there he is now, the heavyweight champion of the world. Mind you, I wouldn't like to be the bloke that refused him.
Okay, bring it up. Bring it up.
So look at this Thomas now. Is he going to use this effective left-hand jab?
Watch your head. Okay, watch your heads. One of you.
Well, very severe warning there, Carlos Padilla, for watching heads. They can take matters. 3 points off for that now. So any success that Thomas has, the crowd are willing to cheer anyway. They want to be with the underdog at 6-1 on. Although Tyson, of course, is an immense favourite right across the States. And indeed now in Europe.
See a little bit of blood in Thomas's eyebrow. I think that clash of heads just looks like a slight little nick, but I can see a little bit of blood.
Yeah, Padilla looked at that a long time, actually. Well, we said he'd have to work hard there, the referee, and it looks as though he's going to.
Watch your head.
Trouble with Thomas, Jimmy, boxes open to mouth. There's a sort of distressed look about him, even when he's winning.
Yeah, I don't think he'll want to get caught in the chin by Tyson when his mouth is open. But it's possible that in that first round, Thomas was shocked with the power that Tyson had, because he's managed to get himself back into it a little bit more since then. But he just didn't seem to know what hit him in that first round.
The crowd don't like it now. They're remembering Tyson and Bone Crusher, and they don't want that. There's always been a few fighters that said they could beat Tyson, but none have baited him in the way that Thomas did early on in the initial press conferences. So I think Tyson came in with a little bit of needle in the belly there. Oh, right over the back of the head. It's just as well for Thomas that.
See, Tyson's going to have to throw punches on the way in. If he moves into a clinch, then his opponents are grabbing hold of him and stopping him working. He's going to have to punch as he moves in. He's leaving it that second or so too late.
Well, his trainer says he's still at college as far as professional boxing goes, and he's right. But of course, you've got to judge him as a champion, Jim. That's the point, not as a learner.
Yeah, well, I would say that's his problem at the moment. He's moving in before he lets the punches go. He wants to let the punches go as he's moving in.
Step. Okay, very good. Step up.
I suppose Thomas is hoping that Tyson might punch himself out a little bit. He likes the idea of people who have taken him to distance, but they've all been 6'5", and he does have trouble with tall fighters. He's supposed to be 5'11", Tyson, but there's often a dispute about that. He certainly doesn't appear it now. So it looks as though he's got to work a bit hard for his money. He's had to work to get in shape for this. $2.5 million there, Tyson. Well, Mug's game, you tell that to Tyson, who didn't even finish school and now has bought his first Rolls Royce. We were never sure what kind of Pinklon Thomas would come in tonight. He's had 1 or 2 off nights. He's had brilliant times, had a few troubles, and admitted to being a drug addict at one time, and speaks openly about it. Well, you get the impression that the crowd are dying to see a punch after the bell there. The referee's well aware of that. He's dived in between them.
No, take this one. Yeah, do this. Open up. Spit that out. Michael, you have a great jab. You're not using it at all. I want to see a snappy, hard jab. You're not fighting this guy. We're going to fight. We're going to fight it. We're going to bullshit. Huh? We're going to fight. We're going to bullshit. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You do a couple combinations in there.
Well, there's the view then for the cheaper part of the stadium. $750 at ringside they've paid. And it's a very pleasant evening. Not for him at times, but he's fought back well from that tough start in the opening round, and he's trying to motivate him a bit now, Angelo Dundee, the best in the business at that. Into the fifth. Tyson's corner man there, Kevin Rooney, saying you're not using your left jab at all, and he wants him to. But I've got my doubts whether he can actually out-jab Pinklon Thomas. That's his best punch. There it is there, you see, trying to match him with it. What a chance for Thomas, though, almost out of nowhere he got this to get back to number one, $650,000. The cheap end of the purse, but enough. Just that bit of rawness showing with Tyson at times, Jim, a little bit of subtlety is missing.
Yeah, well, a few times he has been taken into the later stages, and simply because his technique is a little bit lacking, but normally he makes up for it with the power he has. But you can see he's short of ideas here. It's time now to do something else. I think Thomas is getting used to these lunges and the punches that are coming his way, and he knows what's coming now. So Tyson now has to think of something else, maybe show a feint and try to draw Thomas's lead and come back with counters of his own, but he's a little bit short on ideas tonight.
There's Tyson trying to use the left jab now. That's to break up the opponent's concentration with that a bit before he throws the heavy stuff. Although I should think those left jabs hurt enough. He doesn't stop saying watch the head, Jim, the referee, does he? I think he might take a point away from Tyson.
Well, he was just a little bit dangerous a couple of seconds ago.
Well, he certainly was there, but not with his head.
See, I think we've come to expect so much from Tyson now, and when he's not getting his punches home, we tend to criticise him. But we have to remember that not so long ago, Pinklon Thomas was regarded as the best heavyweight in the world. Just he wasn't paying attention. He is a top-class fighter.
Bad intention. Bad intention, baby. Bad intention. What's the matter? He's getting tired. He's getting tired.
So there's the size of this man's neck bolted onto those brawny shoulders there. In fact, when somebody said, Ray, will you make a comeback, Ray Leonard? He said, well, I could always fight Mike Tyson's neck. That must weigh 160 pounds.
Listen, bad intention. You got to go to punch with bad intention. Hard. Go to the body. Hard. Hard. You use your jab a little bit. A little.
Have a look at some replay there, Jim, with the jabs coming in.
Yeah, see, that was the head again. He was a little bit dangerous with the head that time. That's when Padilla warned him.
Use that jab and use that right hand, but throw the punch with bad intention. Bad intention. You let this guy throw onto the side here.
Now look, you gotta pick up the pace. I don't want you in the clinches. You're doing fine, but you're blowing it because you're laying in there. You're laying in there. I don't want you laying in there. I want you fighting these guys and boxing them. Put some pep into that left hook. You're hitting the hook off the jab.
You don't know it, Pete. Keep that jab right there. Keep that jab right there, man. Don't let him get a ball.
So they're having to change the glove here now. This is the Henry Cooper, Muhammad Ali scene all over again. And Kevin Rooney goes over there and says to the referee, what's this all about? I didn't see the tear there, Jim. There was no mention of it early in the break in that round.
Nope, I didn't notice it either, but obviously something must have been wrong. And I don't see any reason for anything fancy to have happened in the corner.
Well, the Nevada Commission are very strict indeed on these things. In fact, you have to wear a gum shield now, and if it comes out without, and it's knocked out, the referee has to stop the contest at the appropriate point and wash the shield and put it back.
You don't know with that jab, Pete. Keep that jab right there.
You better get another set ready, Carlos, just in case, you know?
So they are really whispering the words of wisdom there, isn't he, Rooney? He doesn't want the world and his brother to hear. But there was no trickery there, Jim. I just think there was a tear there somewhere. I mean, there was no point in doing it there.
No, there was no reason. There were no cuts in the...
So the Master of Ceremonies announced to the audience here that the glove had torn and had to be replaced. And it's always good to know they've got the spare gloves on hand. Into the sixth. Well, Tyson tasted a bit of leather with the glove on the left hand. I wonder what the new one's going to do.
Okay, hold it. Bring it up. Don't throw punches. Step up.
Thomas has been saying that using the solid left lead like that is a sort of key to the door, and that opens everything up for him, but he just hasn't been able to hold this fella off enough.
Okay, bring it up. Step up. Hold it.
And all sorts of advice now coming from outside the ring. And I suspect from a young lady, an actress, Robin Gibbons, who stars in Head of the Class, who's actually dating Tyson at the moment. See, now the crowd are booing there, Jim, a bit unfairly, because they're fighting inside, and that proved it. And then they immediately switched to cheers there.
Yeah, well, just as I said, by Tyson's own standards, this is a kind of calm stuff. They expect to see the dynamite all the time.
Oh, he got the job done there. I think he must have heard you there, Jim. What a peach of a left hook that was. And he's going to do it in the sixth because he's only midway through. And this is the way he finishes him off now. The master of the finishing stuff. What a fighter. Absolute ferocious. And what a game man. He took every punch in the book there, Pinklon Thomas. He is not going to make this in the sixth round. And your heart goes out with him. The embarrassment of him being knocked out like that with all the heart in the world. He can't control the legs. But what a tremendous finish there by the Iron Man himself, who's following the loser over to the corner. Once the bell's gone and it's all over, he's the most compassionate guy in the world. Great supporter of kids' charities here. But I tell you, he really is some guy in the ring. What a finish, Jim.
It has to be, without doubt, the best finisher in the game today. One good solid punch got through, shook Thomas up a little bit, and then over they came. Every punch was meant to nail him to the floor, and eventually over he went. A tremendous finish from Tyson.
There's manager Jim Jacobs there, just whispering in his ear, you can make a few more million, son, well done. There's a very close-knit corner there, and there's two doctors of the Nevada State Commission working there in Pinklon Thomas's corner. And the obligatory hug from promoter Don King. Well, what a fighter, and I emphasise yet again, Jim, 20 years old, and here's the finish.
See, once he gets the opponent in trouble, every punch that comes over is a finisher. It's a cracking uppercut, and set to come in with the rest.
And we look at another angle. I mean, his head almost departs the shoulders there, Jim, doesn't it? He's just got no chance. And what a brave guy. He took some really hard punches before he went down. Look at that, absolute on the button. and you knew he went down there, his head flopped like Wurzel Gummidge there, and he couldn't get up. Jim?
Yeah, every single punch from all angles, and he gets full power into everyone. That was a signal, the punch that came up the way, and then overcome the left hook, and that was all over for the night.
And once again there, this overhead shot. Now you can see the real ferocity of this man in action.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time. 2 minutes of the 6th round. Referee Carlos Padilla stops the bout. The winner by a TKO and still WBC, WBA, heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
So there, as if you need it, the formality of Chuck Hull's announcement, and it really looks like a carnival and an alley as always there as the interviews begin.
Well, in the end, he managed to do it then. First time Pinklon Thomas has been stopped. It looked for a moment as if it was going to get a bit like that Bone Crusher Smith fight, didn't it? But it didn't turn out that way, because that is why Tyson is so exciting. I wonder what his trainer, Kevin Rooney, was whispering into his ear during that long interval for the 5th while Thomas was having a new glove fitted. Well, there it is. Tyson makes it 30 out of 30. And really, at the start of the fight, in round 1, it didn't even look as if it was going to go 6 rounds. So let's have a look at the closing stages of round 1, when Tyson looked as if he was going to finish it early.
Trying to wipe out that memory of the Bone Crusher Smith waltz, and he's really laying it to Thomas at the start. The crowd loving it, Thomas hating it. 15 stone 8 3/4 pounds of absolute mind, muscle, menace there, Tyson. Who's going to stop him midway through the first? Jim, what a fighter, Tyson.
Tremendous power he has, Reg. He doesn't pay anybody any respect whatsoever. He just comes straight through, pays no attention to what they're doing, and nothing that Thomas has shown so far is going to discourage him. Tyson's last 2 opponents are simply throws on the night with no belief in themselves. A lot depends on how much belief Thomas has tonight. But whatever they come in with, I think Tyson's putting a dent on that already.
Well, he's not going to get tangled up at close quarters in this fight, Tyson, as he did with Smith. He's got to learn to break the spider's web and not get entangled in it, and he's really unloading some terrific punches. And he'll do well to get over this round now, Pinklon Thomas. Well, you can talk a good fight, but when you get in with this fellow, you can throw all that out. As we get the countdown for the end of the first, can he hang in there for a while? As I said, he's got plenty of guts, Pinklon Thomas. He's standing up well, considering he's taken the full force of those punches. Well, a man, remember, who's 2 stone heavier than the great Rocky Marciano. 2 stone and over a stone heavier than Joe Frazier was. And he's in there, Padilla. Into the 6th. Well, Tyson tasted a bit of leather with the glove on the left hand. I wonder what the new one's going to do.
Okay, hold it. Break it up. Don't throw punches. Step up.
Thomas has been saying that using the solid left lead like that is a sort of key to the door, and that opens everything up for him, but he just hasn't been able to hold this fella off enough.
Okay, bring it up.
Come on, baby, come on, we. You can't hold the back of me.
Hold it.
And all sorts of advice now coming from outside the ring. And I suspect from a young lady, an actress Robin Gibbons, who stars in Head of the Class, who's actually dating Tyson at the moment. See, now, the crowd are booing there, Jim, a bit unfairly, because they're fighting inside, and that proved it. And then they immediately switched to cheers there.
Yeah, well, just as I said, by Tyson's own standards, this is a kind of calm stuff. They expect to see the dynamite all the time.
Oh, he got the job done there. I think he must have heard you there, Jim. What a peach of a left hook that was. And he's going to do it in the sixth because he's only midway through. And this is the way he finishes him off now. The master of the finishing stuff. What a fighter. Absolute ferocious. And what a game man. He took every punch in the book there, Pinklon Thomas. He is not going to make this in the sixth round. And your heart goes out with him. The embarrassment of him being knocked out like that with all the heart in the world. He can't control the legs. But what a tremendous finish.
Chaos going on in the ring in Las Vegas, but Mike Tyson should be there to talk to our commentator, Reg Guttridge, and it'll be interesting on what he has to say about the finish to that fight in round 6.
So, Mike Tyson, well done once again. What a tremendous finish.
Thank you very much. Well, I put it together, you know, I let him wear himself out. And I saw he was tired and I just put it together.
Early on, you were getting a bit of trouble with him when you got close in. You learned from the bone crusher fight there, you know.
You saw I was punching inside more.
You did?
Yeah.
He learned a little bit, he could do better.
Yeah. No, so I mean, there was a time when you were you concerned that you wouldn't catch him because when you did, it was ferocity. I mean,
I knew I would catch him eventually because we had 12 long rounds. I gotta go.
Well, there's a man in a hurry for you. His next fight's not till August the 1st, when he'll be fighting, of course, at the end of the series, the final unification, when he takes on Tony Tucker, who we saw earlier win the IBF title. Well, there it is then. Mike Tyson has retained his titles as expected. It looked as if it was going to be a little bit difficult for him at one stage as to whether he was going to finish it very quickly. But in round 6, he finally did the business. And we can look back now at some of the power that we've seen from the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas that makes Mike Tyson such a tremendous performer.
So once he gets there,
He's quite an amazing boxer when you think about it. He's still 20 years of age. And the power he has when he can open up the big man. He seems to be having a little bit of trouble with the big fellas, but he's still punching away inside. And now comes a terrific finish. As soon as Tyson's got room to land those punches, terrific left and right, and the fight is all over. Good night, Pinklon Thomas. And they keep talking about Frank Bruno going in with this fella. I really can't see Frank Bruno lasting very long. But anyway, this is the fight we're looking at. Another chance to see Mike Tyson. And this is the reason that we all stay up, of course, in these early hours, to see power like that. He didn't do it against Bone Crusher. He did it at the start of this fight. And when he finally got some room, after a lot of inside work, which he does do pretty well, Mike Tyson finally puts the punches together and knocks out Pinklon Thomas to make it 30 wins out of 30, 27 inside the distance. Well, Mike Tyson is quite remarkable. He's got a long way to go, of course, to catch up Muhammad Ali, but meanwhile, he's certainly beating all the record books. And on August the 1st, he fights Tony Tucker in Las Vegas to find out who is going to be the undisputed world heavyweight champion. Surely there really isn't much doubt about that one, but of course we'll be there to show it to you. And that would make Tyson the youngest ever undisputed champion at 21 years as he would be then and 1 month, and that would make him 10 months younger than Floyd Patterson when he did it a long time ago. Anyway, viewers in Central and Grenada have once again been able to see Mike Tyson live through the night. Thank you for staying with us. Hope you've enjoyed it. We saw a cracking IBF title fight followed by another sensational finish by Mike Tyson. From all of us, good night.
And what a game.